This is News 8 Now, this morning.
The life of the mother, to me, is also the health of the mother.
The use of the word life in the statute in the context of typical statutory interpretation would mean life or death, not complications that are short of that.
The way some of these drugs are packaged and labeled, is it drawing in kids? Have those talks with your kids. Have your talks. Addiction, doesn't seem to discriminate.
All of our students in our cohort are able-bodied, and we'll be working with people that have disabilities. And the best thing that we can do as an able-bodied person is advocate, because a lot of times people with disabilities' voices aren't heard like ours are. Good morning, everyone. That was your morning eye-opener. I'm Sophia Pullman.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is March 31st, last day of March.
Here we go.
April is tomorrow,
Yep.
April Fool's Day.
Sure is.
Rainy outside,
It is.
thunderstorms through the night.
Yep, we got all of it. And we got snow too.
Yes, I did notice that after work. It was like little balls of hail.
Yeah, we call that a little bit of sleet. Those little tiny ice pellets that we're kind of mixing at times with some of the rain and snow that we had across the area. Now today we got a combination of pretty much everything. We're talking about rain, we're talking about thunderstorms, and then as soon as we head into tonight and also into the day tomorrow, hey, guess what? We're actually talking about some snow here across the area. So that's why I'm saying we pretty much have it all across the Coulee region. Let's get a quick check here on what's going on. And you can see over the last 18 hours, a lot of rain has moved through the Coulee region. Most of the heavier rain is mainly focused to the north in the Chippewa Valley, right around the Eau Claire area and just north of there. And you can see those showers and some embedded thunderstorms are moving their way towards the east. All right, so we do have winter storm warnings that I do want to show you here real quick. This is starting tonight and going into 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. 3 to 6 inches of snow possible in some of these spots. Wind gusts to 45 miles an hour. That could cause some blowing and drifting snow. And same here for these winter weather advisories. Not as much snow though, between around 1 to 3 inches for these spots. Gusts to 45, slippery roads, and of course some blowing snow is also a possibility. So a check on your planner shows us that we will be pretty wet here today with thunderstorms arriving late this afternoon into early this evening. I'll time things out on Sky Tracker and let you know more details in the full weather forecast in just a bit. Sophia?
Thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news this morning. For the first time, a former president is facing charges. A grand jury in New York indicted Donald Trump. The investigation centered on alleged payments made during the 2016 presidential campaign to silence claims of an extramarital affair. Payments that could be classified as business fraud. Colton Malskis talked with experts at the University of Wisconsin about what's next.
But the next step would be to have an arraignment. Trump would have to appear in court and enter a plea of guilty or not guilty.
Former President Donald Trump is headed for court after a grand jury met and voted on the probable cause for criminal charges to be filed.
I think in large part the fact that he is a former president is not really going to be relevant to this particular prosecution.
Assistant clinical professor at the UW-Madison School of Law, John Gross, says there is nothing about the charges implicating national security issues or presidential privilege.
Essentially something related to fraud or bribery. I would expect, based on the amounts involved and the nature of the charge, this would be a felony charge.
Now, Gross does not believe prison time is on the table for the former POTUS. However, the historical significance still rings true for UW Whitewater professor emeritus Richard Haven.
We knew it was a possibility, but I think, like everyone else, we're surprised that it has finally come.
Haven believes it is a unique event to add to the history of American politics, but it is unsure exactly what the ramifications will be for Trump, who, as of Thursday, is still running for a second presidential term.
Going to try to use it to raise funds and to increase his opportunities to get attention in the Republican race for the nomination.
For Gross, it is a win for the rule of law.
I think it is definitely an endorsement of our system, and it is a clear message that says that nobody is above the law.
Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson reacted to the news on Twitter, saying the indictment was issued by a George Soros-funded district attorney. According to PolitiFact, a racial justice group called Color of Change received $1 million donation from Soros, a billionaire known for donating to liberal candidates. The PAC backed DA Alvin Bragg during his election, but a spokesperson told PolitiFact that amount wasn't earmarked or Bragg, and also went to other campaigns. Voters have a few advisory referendum questions on their ballot this spring election. The laws won't change no matter how the voters turn out. Statewide, we have an advisory referendum asking if able-bodied adults should be looking for work to receive welfare benefits. That is already state law. And 3 local counties, La Crosse, Eau Claire, and Vernon, are asking voters if the state should repeal or keep the 1849 abortion ban. On La Crosse's county ballots, the question reads, should the legislature repeal or keep the state's 1849 abortion ban that provides no exceptions in cases of rape or incest, nor to protect the health of the mother. The La Crosse activism group Save Your Rights Coalition says the La Crosse County Board worded the question wrong, arguing the ban does already allow abortions to save the, quote, health of the mother. The statute currently allows an abortion to save the mother's life, but it does not mention the word health. And the distinction between health and life were a major point when the county board debated putting this question on the ballot back in January.
The life of the mother, to me, is also the health of the mother.
The use of the word life in the statute in the context of typical statutory interpretation would mean life or death, not complications that are short of that.
Some board members argued it's not the county's place to put the referendum on the ballot. District 20 Supervisor Steve Doyle, who's also a member of the state assembly, said state legislatures provided an answer to that question when giving a reason for approving the statewide welfare referendum.
The response to that was, yes, it's the law, but the governor's not enforcing it, so we think it's important that the people have a chance to tell the governor what they think about that. That sounds kind of familiar to what we're talking about tonight. It's not our role to change state law, but I do think it is a very important role of the county board to give the people of our area a voice.
State Republicans have introduced a bill that would provide exceptions for rape and incest and also expand the definition of life of the mother. But Governor Evers has promised to veto that because it allows the 1849 ban to stay in legislature. Knowing how the human body works and how to heal is just one aspect of training for a career in healthcare. The other is the human aspect. Students at UW-La Crosse and Viterbo joined together to run simulations that reflect real-life situations they'll encounter in future jobs. These students are learning how they'll work as a team to take care of patients.
When we go in to clinicals, when we go into the real world, we're going to be working as a team all the time for patients, and we want to know who we can rely on for certain things and who to bring in when we find things that are outside of our scope of practice.
Students are also learning about how to care for patients by running scenarios where the patients may be reactive or wanting to refuse care. Students say they appreciate the chance to get as close as possible to real-world experiences during their time in school.
So maybe find something.
Graduate students at University of Wisconsin-La Crosse are walking a mile in another person's shoes. These occupational therapy students are getting a taste of what it's like to serve lunch with a visual difficulty. They took turns assisting their blindfolded partner. One student says the activity put everything in perspective for her and her peers.
All of our students in our cohort are able-bodied, and we'll be working with people that have disabilities. And the best thing that we can do as an able-bodied person is advocate, because a lot of times people with disabilities' voices aren't heard like ours are.
For the past 2 years, Jeff and Jeannie Nylander have hosted the activity. Jeannie is blind, and she says her students have changed her life.
They're the future. They're the ones that are going to be in the hospitals very soon, and some of them are already. They all have wonderful attitudes, and it's going to be a brighter future because of them.
The Nylanders say they hope to host the event at UWL each year. As the weather warms up, it's prime time to see aerial wildlife come back. The Upper Mississippi River National Wildlife and Fish Refuge in Onalaska has new hours for its visitor center. The center is now open on Saturdays. For families, the center has backpacks to loan out with field guides about plants and animals, as well as child-sized binoculars and bug jars.
For diving ducks, puddle ducks like mallards, we offer critical nesting habitat for them, and also a place to kind of rest and rejuvenate for birds that make really long journeys between their summer and winter nesting grounds.
The visitor center will be open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 3. The refuge itself is open to everyone from dawn to dusk. Still ahead on your morning news, UW system students may have to pay more next fall. We have the details on how much and how not everyone agrees with that decision. And a call to action by homeowners after a Sauk County woman pays for a home warranty police policy that doesn't work. That and more coming up this morning. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. Get ready to look up at the sky. A planetary parade is coming. The alignment of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus will all become visible today and continue that way over the next couple of weeks. Onlookers should be able to catch the best glimpse of the 5-planet alignment on Tuesday evening just after sunset. It will be visible just underneath the crescent moon. Alignments like this only appear every few years. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning after the break.
Well, we continue to watch all the rain and thunderstorms move in across the Coulee region. A lot of this is mainly focused well to the north, though, and you can see the motion mainly towards the east. Some locally heavy downpours are also possible, so just keep that in mind here as you're out and about here with the dog this morning, because we will be watching some scattered rain showers move in kind of off and on this morning, followed even by some strong thunderstorms as we head into early this evening. Your zone forecast today in La Crosse County, our high temperatures this afternoon rising into the upper 40s to low 50s. It'll be about 50 today in Berry Mills and 48 in Maduro. Further south, we're looking at 59 in Soldiers Grove today. Highs reach 60 in Lansing, 62 in Waukon. Mid to upper 40s in our central zones with 45 in Arcadia, 47 to Melrose there, and low 40s with chances of thunderstorms here as well across the Chippewa Valley here today. So for your bus stop forecast this morning, 44 degrees, cloudy skies, maybe a shower or two. And then as we head home here and during the afternoon, we'll be looking at 50 degrees with some showers here still possible and maybe even some thunderstorms at the same time. So I'll go over this and time things out here coming up, still to come in just a few minutes in the full weather forecast.
Americans are getting older, and that may be a big reason behind the labor shortage in the U.S. That's according to a new study from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. According to the study, the share of retired workers in the U.S. has gone up, and individuals aged 60 and older account for more than 90% of all retirees in the U.S. The study also showed other factors influencing the labor gap is disability, but only play a minor role. University of Wisconsin students will be paying more to attend class next year. The Board of Trustees voted to increase tuition, fees, and room and board starting next fall. The average cost for most in-state undergraduate on-campus students will rise around $700 a year. This is the first increase since an 8-year freeze on rates in 2021. It has been lifted. Only one voted against the motion. Rodney Posh said he understands the need for funds, but the proposal is too much for struggling students. It's a situation that frustrated even our call for action volunteers. A woman in Sauk County paying for a home warranty says the policy was useless. Jenny Blue was just one of the several reports we've gotten from people who say they're getting the runaround from Clinch Warranty. Talene Maudlin was the call for this action report.
They send you so many.
A stack of papers.
Yeah, those are my bills.
And a few old voicemails from customer service.
Saved messages.
Without a resolution.
At this time, a search for an in-network service provider is taking longer than anticipated.
That's all Jenny Blau of Sauk County says she has to show after more than 2 years of monthly payments to Cinch Home Services.
They have not reimbursed me a penny.
The company is a home warranty provider based in Florida that took over for Sears. For Blau, that meant switching from an individual appliance policy at $500 annually after almost 20 years to a monthly payment totaling over $800 a year for a whole home policy.
The guy said, even if you need a light bulb change, they'll send someone out to do that.
But what Blau came to realize is that it wouldn't be so simple. To file a claim,
each time you get a $100 charge.
Last year, she filed 3, but after paying up, she was told she would need to find her own service provider to make the appliance repairs, with the promise of a reimbursement.
I feel kind of like I got taken in a way, because what they promised they didn't do. They put it all on me, and you call them, you set up the appointments, you get the paperwork, you send us the pictures, you know.
Blau isn't the only Cinch customer having trouble getting her warranties from the company honored. Several reports across the country detail warranty runarounds, and in Wisconsin, state regulators have had 9 complaints in the past couple years.
It's not about the numbers because it's about the issue. One complaint can trigger us to a systemic problem that a business is having.
The state recommends reaching out to Consumer Protection. As for Blau,
I canceled it.
After several phone calls and emails, spending over $300 in repairs, another $300 in unresolved claims, and over $1,600 for the service, she's done trying.
Are you going to eat the cost?
Yeah, I will have to.
Jenny was just contacted Thursday morning saying they would reimburse her. That's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek and today's forecast.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sophia. We are looking pretty wet out here right now across much of the area. City Cam 8 definitely confirming that here for us this morning. Current conditions now 38 degrees with some showers. 31 is what the feel like temperature is when you factor in the winds north-northwest at around 10 miles an hour. Also very wet here for you in Eau Claire, 35 degrees with some heavy rain showers. It feels like 27 though from the winds out of the east-northeast at around 10 miles an hour, giving us a slight wind chill effect there. And you can see the rain and snow that moved through here pretty much since yesterday and also last night, and it's still pretty much raining here, especially well to the north, where we're seeing some of those heavier downpours that are currently taking shape, especially if you're in western Clark County and also into portions of central Chippewa and also down south here into southern Eau Claire County. If we widen out the view, you can see the motion of these showers and embedded storms moving their way from west to east across the area. And of course, this is all associated with this trough of low pressure that we continue to follow. This is the main system that's going to give us a combination of the showers, the thunderstorms, and on the backside, you can already start to see some snow that's beginning to develop across portions of the Dakotas and also portions of northwestern Nebraska. That's all going to be pushing in our way here later tonight. Before today, we have to get through the cloudy skies with some showers this morning, followed by more scattered showers developing at around noon today, and maybe even some strong to severe thunderstorms are possible later this afternoon and also into the early evening, because we could still be dealing with at least some rain and maybe even some heavy downpours here at times. So we'll time things out on Sky Tracker. As that system approaches us, there could be another round of rain showers moving in to our northwestern communities at around 8 a.m. By noon today, maybe a couple leftover scattered showers from that wave of rain and storms. We start to see another one move in here by around 6 p.m. Widely scattered showers and storms. This will probably be our best bet here for any severe weather around here, with some of those stronger cells here developing, especially where you see orange and red. And then as we head to 11 p.m., a lot of this is going to start to wrap around and change over more so towards snow. Some of that snow may even turn heavy at times tonight and also into overnight tonight through early tomorrow morning as it moves through. But by 8 o'clock, I do expect a lot of this, though, to be exiting the area. We'll be left over with cloudy skies and some cooler temperatures here in the wake of that storm system. Now, by tomorrow afternoon, all those clouds clear out, we'll be looking a lot sunnier, temperatures into the 30s and the low 40s. So here's a check on that 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will be dealing with the snow here for tomorrow night and into early Saturday. Now, Sunday and Monday are going to be looking mainly cloudy, a little bit breezy here, by the way, tomorrow behind that system, and same here for Sunday. Our next storm system will move in early next week on Tuesday. That could give us another chance of showers and thunderstorms to work with, so we'll keep our eyes on that. The rest of next week will feature mainly partly to mostly cloudy conditions, with temperatures mainly into the upper 40s to low to mid 50s, especially on Friday, where it could be looking at as warm as 54 degrees. Meanwhile, our low temperatures look to be mainly into the 30s and the low 40s across the Coulee region here over these next 8 days. So stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. However, we're taking a quick break with a look at what happened on this day in history for March 31st. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Blitz. The Wisconsin men's basketball team fell short in the NIT semifinals on Tuesday night as the Badgers season came to a disappointing end, and now one of the Coulee region standouts on the squad is going to be pursuing his college career elsewhere. Junior guard Jordan Davis has decided to enter the transfer portal. The Central grad averaged just over 5 points a game for the Badgers this season. Davis was originally a starter until freshman Connor Esijan replaced him midway through the year. Davis wound up playing just over 20 minutes a game. He was one of the main contributors off the bench for the Badgers. We'll keep you updated on where Davis ultimately ends up. Happy opening day yesterday in the majors, but not for the Brewers. They were in Chi-Town taking on the rival Cubs in the third. One of the newest Cubbies, Dansby Swanson, taking Corbin Burns the other way for a base hit. It plates one, then Willy Adames throws it away. That allows a second run to come in and score. That's all Chicago needed. Brewers getting held to just 4 hits on the day. They struck out 12 times. Milwaukee gets shut out 4-0 the final. Brewers are back tomorrow at Wrigley. Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Crew. Everybody's journey is different. And as one Coulee region man has shown, when you get a second shot at life, never stop shooting. For the past year and a half, this is where Lucas Harrow has been mastering his full-time hobby.
Takes my body a bit to get warmed up.
A hobby that's become more of a career for the Onalaska native.
For me, archery has been life-changing. The more I did it, the more I fell in love with it.
It's a challenge that he has embraced since picking up a bow and arrow, but one of the most challenging parts of Lucas's day
solid.
is getting here. In 2013, Lucas suffered an accident on the water, which left him paralyzed from the chest down.
Towards the tail end of our day, went in to cool off one last time, and I dove into the river. And I'm not sure if I hit the sandbar at the bottom of the river or a log, but I hit something. And that was the day that my life changed forever.
After 5 years of fighting, Lucas didn't feel like fighting anymore.
That was the first time in my life I ever felt broken by something. Like, man, I had nothing left in the tank. This had gotten the best of me.
The accident also forced Lucas to give up a job he dreamed of pursuing ever since he was a little boy.
I knew I loved the outdoors, and I always had that kind of Spitfire adrenaline side to me. And I remember thinking, okay, what can I do that's going to help people and also kind of fuel that, little danger side in me.
But given the circumstance, Lucas still had a lot of fire left in him.
You gotta live in the moment and accept and embrace what happens and just try to live your life to the fullest.
And that's what Lucas is focused on now.
Starting to go where they're supposed to go.
Setting his sights on a new target.
Archery is the first thing that I've found where it's like, man, I can hold my own in this. And not just against disabled athletes. Like, I can shoot right up there with the best of the able-bodied archers that come into the shop.
For the past year, Lucas has showcased his talents around the world, and he hasn't allowed his limitations to get in the way.
I'll come in and take my chin and push on this knuckle to manipulate that finger onto the safety trigger. It's the only way that I've been able to independently shoot, so pretty awesome.
Lucas isn't alone on this journey.
I think we're still a touch high.
In fact, his support team works round the clock to make sure it's all possible.
There's about anywhere from 10 to 15 people that help me. Thank you. They're instrumental in my life. They keep me alive. My life would not exist without the help of others.
It's been a day-by-day mindset the last decade, but when it comes to archery, Lucas has long-term aspirations, and he's aiming for Olympic gold.
I'm not going to stop until I'm the #1 Class W1 para archer in the world. I'm in the sport for a while. I'm not going anywhere.
Lucas will be competing in the Arizona Cup in 2 weeks as he hopes to qualify for the World Championships in Prague during the summer. If you want to follow Lucas's journey and help him along the way, that info is on our website at news8000.com/sports. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
In Washington, D.C., as the Biden White House and Democratic lawmakers are pushing for gun safety legislation, many Republicans are not interested in taking steps in that direction. President Biden has repeatedly called on Congress to take action, including an assault weapons ban, but faces an uphill battle due to the GOP in control of the House. Some Republicans say Biden is trying to undermine the Second Amendment, and others say going after guns isn't the way to address mass shootings. More than 100,000 people died due to overdoses in 2022. Now, the FDA has approved a treatment for over-the-counter sales. News 8 Now's Anna Fisher tells us how this approval could save a significant amount of lives.
A deadly substance that's claiming lives every day.
This is happening here. We have a great community, but we're not immune to this.
We'll soon have a more accessible treatment.
Making Narcan available much easier and over the counter, I believe, will save lives.
The FDA approved naloxone nasal spray to be sold over the counter for the first time. The spray is used to reverse the effects of opioids.
Someone that might be legitimately on an opioid prescription should have it nearby, and family members should know how to administer it.
Dr. Holly Geyer of Mayo Clinic says remembering these 3 steps are crucial to administering Narcan.
You're going to put that person on their side in the recovery position, make sure that your surroundings are safe, and then administer it by just putting it inside the nostril and giving it a squeeze.
The over-the-counter treatment contains the same active ingredients as the Narcan used by first responders.
Naloxone goes through the bloodstream straight to that part of the brain, knocks off the opioid from that receptor, binds to it, and prevents the opioid from having an effect.
Experts say even if you have Narcan, you should still call 911.
Get that help coming right away, because even if in severe cases, it could take several doses of Narcan, and when the paramedics arrive, they can administer it via an IV.
The Vernon County Sheriff reminds people to be cautious.
The way some of these drugs are packaged and labeled, is it drawing in kids? Have those talks with your kids. Have your talks. Addiction, doesn't seem to discriminate.
The FDA says over-the-counter availability may take months, as a change in labeling will be required as well. For more information about Narcan and drug safety, visit news8000.com. It is peak hatching season for bald eagles. People all across the world are watching it. The Minnesota DNR Eagle Cam just captured the first eagle of the year over the weekend, but their chances of survival is 50% from hatching to flying from the nest in July. The DNR says we can help keep the bald eagle population soaring by avoiding rodent poisoning and lead ammunition.
We've had bald eagles run into the sides of buildings, and it's usually because they have neurological damage from some sort of a toxin.
The mama eagle hatched 2 egglets, and Non-Game Wildlife Program DNR says for the little ones, everything so far is looking up. In rural Adams County, the school district means everything to that community now. The fate of their schools is on the table. A referendum on next Tuesday's ballot would decide the difference between millions of dollars of funding to keep the district operating. Catherine Merrick shares more of what's at stake.
A referendum on the ballot in this Tuesday's election could determine the fate of this rural school district.
The consequences of this revenue not passing would be devastating.
The Adams Friendship School District has a $12 million operational referendum on the ballot April 4th. It needs this money just to stay open after years of stagnant school funding coming from the state.
I mean, we're proud of the great things that we have going on here, and we'd like to continue to sustain them and improve upon them.
The funding formula has been in existence for 30 years. And if you were a low spending school district 30 years ago, you're still a low revenued school district today. And it's created winners and losers in the funding formula.
These administrators say parents have voiced their concerns about the future of their children's education. If they close, it would eventually leave 1,300 students scattered into outside communities. Plus, it would impact many jobs in the area and the town as they know it.
I think what I continue to think about is the impact it will have on the community as a whole if we are not here. A community that has existed for many years could become a ghost town. Just like many rural schools, we are the heart of the community.
And while the district administrators couldn't tell me directly their opinions on the matter, they told me they are encouraging parents to be as updated as they can on this situation to know the consequences of the election.
The district had a similar referendum on the ballot in November. It did not pass by just a couple hundred votes.
Rain showers continue across the Cooley region now, and some of these showers are turning heavy at times as well. As we widen things out, you can see the bulk of the rain that continues to move towards the east. Some of these are producing some moderate to heavy rain here as well, so watch out for some ponding on the roadways here from some of the rain. 50 degrees here today with thunderstorms likely. Some of those storms turn even strong to even severe. For tonight, it's going to be pretty windy. North winds 20 to 30 miles an hour. Rain is likely early, and then snow here as we head in towards late tonight with temperatures at around 30 degrees. Your zone forecast today, upper 40s, low 50s in La Crosse County. 50 today if you're in West Salem. Further south, 59 in Soldiers Grove, 61 in Gays Mills, 55 in Lafarge today. Meanwhile, we're going to be into those mid to upper 40s along our central zones, 46 in Melrose and 49 today in Trempealeau. Highs in the low 40s in the Chippewa Valley. Your drivecast this morning, watch out again for some showers that could cause some issues for your morning commute, and then some scattered showers here for your lunch hour. Watch out for some thunderstorms that could turn strong to severe for this evening, which we'll talk more about coming up in another check in your full weather forecast coming up after the break. We'll also have a check on your Buzz report here too. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, it sure is a pretty wet start here across the Cooley region, as you can see behind me there from City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse. Current conditions here in La Crosse are wet and a little cool. Temperatures at 38 degrees, visibility at around 2 miles, and it's lowered here thanks to the rain showers that we got going on. North-northwest winds at 10 miles an hour. Visibility levels in Eau Claire slightly better at around 4 miles. Still wet here, as you can see. The streets are looking a little bit slippery there. 35 degrees is the current air temperature with east-northeast winds at 13 miles an hour. Now, we've been watching the radar pretty much ever since yesterday afternoon. We did see some rain showers, some snow showers move through. Overnight, it was mainly in the form of rain, however. The majority of the rain, by the way, is mainly focused north into the Chippewa Valley. Clark County especially, you are getting some heavy downpours at the moment, also into Chippewa County and also into Eau Claire County, looking at some of those rain showers moving through. The rest of us really not seeing a whole lot, again, mainly to the north, some light showers down towards the south, but in general, all this activity continues to move towards the east. And this is all really associated with this trough of low pressure, very strong system too, by the way, which continues to gain strength. This is a system that is going to produce showers, thunderstorms, maybe even some severe thunderstorms. And on the back side, there's some snowy weather here across portions of the northern plains, and everything is moving in our general direction here. So let's start off with the severe weather. As you can see, there's actually a couple of spots spots here that are under a moderate risk. Down to the south, we're also watching that moderate risk here just to the south of us here in the Cooley region. However, we are not under any of those moderate risks. However, we are under an enhanced risk for our southern communities, and that means that we could be looking at some, scattered to widespread thunderstorms. Meanwhile, a slight risk here just south of the La Crosse area. That's a level 2 risk, by the way. So damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornadoes between around that 4 to 7 p.m. time frame. So as we time things out a little bit more locally on Sky Tracker, you can see by 8 a.m. looking at some scattered rain showers, still a possibility. By noon today, maybe a few leftover showers are possible before the main wave of thunderstorms begin to move in by around 6 p.m. this afternoon. And then everything kind of begins to change over more so towards snow as soon as 11 o'clock here tonight, by the way, and it looks like this will continue into overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. 4 a.m. still snowing here in portions of the area, and then everything moves out. It's still looking cloudy though for early tomorrow morning. The clouds will clear out by tomorrow afternoon around 5 p.m. And you can see the temperatures behind it looking a little cooler behind that system. So snow tracker showing that the majority of the snow will be mainly focused still well to the north. So not really a whole lot of changes there, but some of the lighter snow mainly down to the south where we're probably thinking anywhere between that 1 to 3 inch mark here at best. So here's a check on your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will be looking at some windy conditions tomorrow, tier 2, with some of those early lingering snow showers still possible for tomorrow morning. Mostly cloudy for Sunday and Monday, and breezy for Sunday too, by the way. We're watching our next system on Tuesday because that could give us our next best chance of seeing thunderstorms, and then it looks like some pretty windy and cold conditions in its wake for Wednesday and Thursday, followed by a mainly cloudy day here to end next week on Friday, with highs mainly into the 50s and lows mainly into the 30s here as well.
In our Morning Buzz report, one of the biggest names in country music is gearing up for the CMT Music Awards this weekend. Music icons Alanis Morissette, Gwen Stefani, and Shania Twain were just added to the star-packed lineup, with Twain set to receive the 3rd ever CMT Equal Play Award.
We're going to be doing 2 songs this year. We're doing Brown Eyes Baby, our current single. And we've got another song.
I'm excited for the show. Like I said, I am excited that it's in Austin to change the scenery. Like I said millions of times already, I feel like this is a new award show.
The fan-voted awards show, hosted by country superstar Kane Brown and Calissa Ballerini, airs this Sunday on CBS.
Hi. One of those days, what could I tell you?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Are you a country?
Am I a country fan? No.
Sorry. Okay. Before we had to break,
Are you a country fan?
Taylor Swift.
All right, oh, that's right. I forgot about Taylor Swift. How can we forget about Taylor Swift?
Before we had to break, it's usually time where we look at today's Look Who's 8, but we don't have any birthdays today.
Yeah, unfortunately not. So if you know a special someone that has a birthday that's turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we love to feature them. Try saying that fast 3 times.
Right. That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com.
And look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website. My gosh,
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next. Former President Donald Trump is expected to surrender to New York authorities early next week after a grand jury voted to indict him. Trump will then have his fingerprints and mugshot taken before an arraignment. It's unclear exactly what the charges are, but the Manhattan District Attorney's case is related to hush money payments to Stormy Daniels just before the 2016 election. University of Wisconsin students will be paying more to attend class next year. The Board of Trustees voted to increase tuition, fees, and room and board starting next fall. The average cost for most in-state undergraduate on-campus students will rise around $700 this year. This is the first increase since an 8-year freeze on rates in 2021. Only one voted against the motion. Rodney Psh said that he understands the need for funds, but the proposal is too much for struggling students. Graduate students at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse are walking a mile in another person's shoes. These occupational therapy students are getting a taste of what it's like to serve lunch with someone who's visually impaired. They took turns assisting their blindfolded partner. One student says the activity put everything in perspective for her and her peers.
All of our students in our cohort are able-bodied, and we'll be working with people that have disabilities. And the best thing that we can do as an able-bodied person is advocate, because a lot of times people with disabilities' voices aren't heard like ours are.
For the past 2 years, Jeff and Jeannie Nylander have hosted the activity. Jeannie is blind, and she says her students have changed her life.
They're the future. They're the ones that are going to be in the hospitals very soon, and some of them are already. They all have wonderful attitudes, and it's going to be a brighter future because of them.
The Nylanders say they hope to host the event each year. As the weather warms up, it's prime time to see aerial wildlife come back. The Upper Mississippi River National Wildlife and Fish Refuge in Onalaska has new hours for its visitor center. The center is now open on Saturdays. For families, the center has backpacks to loan out with field guides about plants and animals, as well as child-sized binoculars and bugs.
For diving ducks, puddle ducks like mallards, we offer critical nesting habitat for them, and also a place to kind of rest and rejuvenate for birds that make really long journeys between their summer and winter nesting grounds.
The visitor center will be open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 3. The refuge itself is open every day from dawn to dusk.
And here's another check on your forecast for today. As far as that planner goes, looking at some pretty wet conditions throughout the morning, and also into the afternoon. Now, late this afternoon, starting around 3 o'clock and through this evening, thunderstorms are likely. Some of those storms even turn strong. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will be looking at some snow for tonight into early tomorrow morning. Also pretty windy tomorrow, partly cloudy during the afternoon. Mainly cloudy Sunday and Monday, still a bit breezy for Sunday as well. We will be watching actually for a chance of thunderstorms early next week on Tuesday. Highs mainly into the 50s.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah. The rain, I'd much rather have snow over the rain.
Really? I'm just sick of the snow.
I'm sick of the snow, but I'd rather have the sun.
Okay. I think we all would, right?
We have more local news for you coming up at 6. University of Wisconsin professors weigh in on what's next after the indictment of former President Donald Trump. And what to expect on next Tuesday's ballot. That and more coming up at the top of the hour. Stay with us. But before that, here's a quick look of La Crosse.